Warning. The following video contains scenes of a sexual nature and extreme violence. And just to clarify, it's not me doing anything weird. You've not tuned into some weird pervy video. It's just about Game of Thrones, and there's loads of people having it off and getting disemboweled and stuff like that. So just forewarning you. Okay, no. Get your thermal underpants on, because winter is coming. Spoiler alert, I'm probably going to be giving away some crucial plot points to Game of Thrones here, so if you ain't seen it and don't want it ruining, then watch that before you watch this. Now, my kids, Dean and Maxine, I say kids, they're probably pushing 40 now. They said, Dad, you got to review Game of Thrones. So I'll do my best to explain it. So basically, Sean Bean is this sort of honourable knight, and he's best mates with the King of West Ross, who's played by the bloke from the Full Monty. Now, he's married to this blonde-haired woman, and when he gets killed off, it means that their eldest kid becomes king. And he's this horrible blonde-haired shit, a real loathsome turd. Brilliant acting from the bloke, but he really is, you really hate him, It reminds me of one of my nephews, actually. Anyway, now, Sean Bean's suspicions are aroused, and he does some investigating, and he discovers that this blonde-haired shit isn't the rightful heir to the throne. He's actually an illegitimate offspring of incest between his brother and sister here. And now there's other people who've got claim to the throne as well, because there's the Full Monty bloke, his brother wants it.
The Iron Throne is mine, by right.
And also there's this silver-haired girl who's apparently the proper rightful heir, and she's in exile living over the water somewhere in a different land, probably East Ross or something like that. And she is sort of compiling an army ready to launch an attack to get her throne back. And in fact, actually, while I'm talking about it, there's a lot of very strong female characters in Game of Thrones. It's one of the reasons Maxine loves it. Because they're not these stereotypical two-dimensional cardboard cutout female characters. They've all got well-rounded personalities, So, for example, Sean Bean's wife, she's a very determined woman. And also Sean Bean's daughters, this his youngest daughter, she's a bloody nutcase, she is, she's vicious. And the older daughter, she has a shit time of it as well, she gets raped and some awful stuff happened to her. But it doesn't break her, and she strengthens her character over the course of the series. And probably one of the strongest female characters of all is the Queen. She's bloody ruthless.
When you play the Game of Thrones, you win. Or you die.
Whatever you do, you don't want to get on the wrong side of her, because if you do, you're f***ed. Now, where was I? So Sean Bean, anyway, he's done this investigating, and this shit of a king, Joffrey, he's called, bloody awful name, him and his mum get wind of it, and they threaten to chop his head off. And you're thinking, oh, bloody hell, how's Sean Bean going to get out of this? And he doesn't. They chop his head off. And you think, they've killed Sean Bean. They've killed Sean Bean. What's going on? Because he's the star. And then you work out, you think, right, the gist of this programme, it's not about Sean Bean. It's going to be about his family getting revenge for his wrongful murder.
The Lannisters send their regards.
And then his wife and his son, they get murdered and all. And you think, oh, bloody hell, what's this about now? What's going on? So maybe his other son's gonna exact his revenge. And then he gets murdered and all. And I don't know what's going on. Anyway, everybody gets murdered pretty much. If you like any of the characters, don't get too attached because they're going to get murdered. As well as all the murders, there's some fantastical elements to it as well. So, for example, this bloke who has just been murdered, he comes back to life magically. And the characters are often saying winter is coming as a bit of a warning.
Winter is coming.
Winter is coming.
And winter is coming.
because when it gets cold, these things called White Walkers start knocking about. And they're like these sort of zombified creatures. And there's so many of them, and they're such a threat to the future of civilization, that this massive great big wall has been built to keep these White Walkers out. But it's a bit of a mystery because they never really explain who built the wall.
We're going to build the wall, folks. We're going to build the wall.
No, it definitely wasn't him. Now, another fantastical element is that this silver-haired girl, Daenerys, she's called, she's related to dragons, which means that fire can't hurt her. Now, I reckon this is a bit of a cynical plot device for the writers, because every time the story's flagging a bit, they seem to find some inexplicable reason to burn all of her clothes off. Yeah, apparently it's integral to the plot, but I'm not so sure. It's interesting watching Game of Thrones because you start to recognise a load of famous British actors that you've seen in loads of things before, but you can't really put your finger on what. If you're a British actor and your agent hasn't got you on Game of Thrones, then they won't sack you, because every bugger's on it. For example, him, I've seen him before. I've seen him in Summit. I've seen him in Summit as well. Now this bloke, I recognise this bloke and I know what he's been in, because he was in this really daft film called Highlander in the 80s, and he was in Braveheart as well, remember him from that, and he was in Troy as well, and the reason I remember him is because he's the same bloody character in all of them. He's always a big bear of a man, but he's a very honourable man. You know, he's always a good character. You always root for him. But yeah, same bloody character and everything. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, seen him before. Yeah, recognise him. Now, I remember him. He was Grouty in Porridge. Recognise him. I've seen him in something, can't remember what. This bloke here, he used to be one of them sort of spoof interviewer blokes. We're called Denis Penis, I think. I never found it that funny myself, to be honest with you. Recognise him? Recognise him? Yeah, seen him before. Now, you might recognise this bloke, he says, because this is Robson Jerome. And Robson Jerome used to be in a programme called Soldier, which was an ITV drama about soldiers. And the producers of Soldier twigged on that it had got a lovely singing voice. So they found some sort of tenuous reason why they could get him singing with this other bloke here. Probably just as an excuse to try and sell some records and make a few quid, you know. And the producers of Game of Thrones, they know that Robson Jerome's got this lovely singing voice, so any opportunity to get him singing, and they take it.
And its kiss was a terrible thing. I've tasted the Donishman's wine.
I mean, them songs aren't as catchy as Unchained Melody, though, are they? Now, I've heard a few people say they're put off Game of Thrones because of things like the dragons and the zombies and the sword fighting and stuff. And because they think it's a bit like Lord of the Rings and that's not really their cup of tea. But it's not like that. It's more about the sort of political intrigue and betrayal and whatnot.
A crown for king.
However, I can accept that if you don't like the nudity and the extreme violence, then that might put you off. And I thought it had put off my wife Denise. But no, I was wrong. Whenever somebody's brutally murdered, she sits there cackling away. She loves it. It's a new side of her I've not seen before. It's a bit worrying, to be honest. Mind you, I think maybe you can get desensitised to the violence after a bit. You know, it sort of just washes over you.
Then a red cut. Then I smash their head in like this.
Maybe not all of it washes over you. That's a bit grim. If you enjoyed that, you can click subscribe below or watch some of these links to similar videos of me waffling on about stuff. Or add some comments if you thought I were talking a load of rubbish. Ta-ra!